Welcome to the London Outlook for Friday, the 17th of November 2023. I'll start with the news events for today. As you can see, there's some GBP retail sales news at 9 a.m. And then subsequently for the rest of the day, it's pretty much just medium impact, and I don't see this having much of a bearing over the market. What I will say is, up until today, GU has been quite um, unfavorable because it hasn't been in a 4H right? So given that fact, I'm not too interested in trading GBPUSD, and I'll go over the charts just now, but I just wanted to touch on the fact that because there's no USD or significant red folder USD news today, perhaps it would be a good idea to consider yesterday's USD news. As you can see, yesterday's news suggested that the USD is weak given the unemployment claims, and we should expect the USD base pairs to decrease. With that said, it's likely already priced into the market. However, if we can perhaps use it as a confluence, what we can then say is, given all of our secondary pairs, we can choose a pair that's more aligned to the USD going down, or the USD base pair going down in price rather than up, just as a method to filter which secondary pair we trade from. I'll quickly skim through the 4-hour charts on the pairs that I'm considering, both primary and secondary, starting with GBPUSD. As I said, we're still waiting for some 4H backing, so what price is doing now is a little bit irrelevant, and it's unclear what is supporting this move going upwards. So for that reason, I'm more interested in trading one of my secondary pairs for today. We can then move on to EURUSD. EURUSD was one of the pairs I was quite interested in trading yesterday, and I monitored it quite closely. What you can see is it achieved its objective under the ERL continuation momentum scenario by taking out the swing high. However, what you can then see is it didn't body break and it wicked break, which then gives us, I guess, cold feet with regards to the momentum underlying this move. For that reason, I'm not particularly enticed to trade EURUSD for today. I'd rather wait for further development, as this week is a suggestion that the momentum really isn't there, and price is likely to pull back, perhaps significantly, to something more clearer within the swing range. However, we can monitor it and wait for further price development, but I don't see it being valid to trade for today. Moving on to AUD AUD is in a bullish trend that is confirmed. We have this worm that we're tapping. However, what you can also see is there's an unconfirmed higher low that can be targeted, given that the swing high wasn't confirmed with body break. Unfortunately, what is transpiring at the moment is there just isn't much space to move, right? So there's reasons to trade both long and shorts. The short move took out substructure with a wick, and there's reason to long the WUMP. However, the wick of the substructure then creates a 4H buy to sell wick barrier, which we don't necessarily want to trade against in terms of longs, because um yeah, I'm just thinking of a good way to elaborate on this point, but essentially what I'm saying is the weak of the substructure can either mean a break of structure or a liquidity grab to continue going upwards. However, we don't know what this OB's purpose is. Is it going to hold or not? Hence why we don't want to trade against it. And if we don't want to trade against it, our options for longs are quite limited given the large nature of this OB. So we'll be pretty much waiting for price to reach here, at which point we're probably going to create another 4H L box. Um, Actually, no, we won't create another 4HL box. We'll reach a reset point for this OP, and a new primary leg on the 5 minute can be identified. However, as I said, this reasons for longs and shorts. Shorts, based on this OP, have theoretically achieved their target. So there isn't really a reason to short until we get back into this OB and reset this point. And then, as I said, longs, we're trading against an OB and a 4H OB, and we don't really want to do that. And given that it's a secondary pair, we also want to avoid the complexities, right? And reserve the complexities for trading our primary pair. Given that on a secondary pair basis, we've got options to find something that's cleaner. In my opinion, AUD USD is not that clean. I'll then move on to USD CAD, which is actually presenting pretty nicely. Just a quick overview on USD CAD. We've recently had this change of character on the void structure, and then price came into a pro trend previously confirmed OB, from which we've then developed multiple primary legs. We've also then tapped into the pro trend unconfirmed extreme and created a new primary leg from there. So at the moment we're sitting with two primary legs for either direction, and both considered pro trend, neither of which are confirmed. In terms of where we are on in the market, it makes sense to short rather than long, as we wait for voyage backing on either side. What you can see is price is likely going to tap into this range before in what I anticipate to be a short-term sell, at least into this voyage OB or the range somewhere here. Given this, I'm quite interested in trading USD CAD, and just as a confluence I mentioned with regards to this, we're expecting the USD to fall, and for the purposes of this pair, it would align with our buys for today to consider shorting from this range into the range, the demand range right here. But yeah, at the moment coming into London, what we essentially waiting for is for this range to be tapped before we can do anything else. Then moving on to gold. Gold is, I guess, in a similar situation in that in terms of market structure, it's had its change of character. However, there's no break of structure to validate that supply is, to validate that shorts are the short trend is confirmed. As a result of this, we've been tapping into previously confirmed trend OPs, which is as a result created a new primary leg, as you can see right here. At the moment, we're tapping into this pro trend unconfirmed OB, which supports the short narrative based on the idea that the pro trend recently shifted. Although it's unconfirmed, we can still base a valid idea on this premise. So coming into London, this is the pair that is most likely to give an opportunity in this session. However, the non-ideal characteristic of this pair is that shorting XAUUSD would be against the news narrative from yesterday. However, given that it is yesterday's news, we can somewhat anticipate that the market has already priced this information in. So it's it's a risk worth taking. It's not that the risk is too high to negate shorting gold, but it's just a consideration that I've considered. And if the opportunity comes where both USD CAD and gold are presenting opportunities, then I'm far more likely to consider a USD CAD opportunity over gold, just because it aligns better with the overall narrative, taking everything into consideration. So I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to say for the London outlook. If I quickly go on to the 5 minute for gold, because it's most likely to present an opportunity soon, you'll see there's recently been a change of character in the order flow, and since then, supply hasn't really held. and neither his demand in particular, however, we've got this primary leg OB to consider. However, we won't consider trading until at least one side of the Asian session range is liquidated, and then we'll go from there. This brings me to the end of the London outlook.